In a quiet village surrounded by fields of wheat and olive trees, lived Hiram, the younger son of a farmer whose land stretched farther than the eye could see. The mornings began with the bray of donkeys, the clink of tools, and the smell of bread baking over wood fires. Hiram had grown up among rows of vines and olive groves, but his eyes often wandered beyond the horizon. The world beyond the village called to him like a secret. He imagined streets lit by lanterns, music echoing from taverns, and people dressed in silks brighter than wildflowers. His older brother, Jotham, was different. Jotham rose early, his hands steady on the plough, his eyes calm. To him, the fields were not chains, they were inheritance, honor, life itself. But to Hiram, they felt like walls. One evening, as the sky glowed red with sunset, Hiram spoke to his father. His words tumbled out like stones breaking loose from a cliff. "Father, give me my share of the inheritance now. I want to see the world. I want my freedom." Silence followed. His father's eyes searched his face, gentle, sorrowful, but not angry. Without a word, he divided his wealth between his sons. Hiram's heart raced. Gold coins clinked heavy in his pouch. This was it. His beginning. By dawn, he was gone, walking the dusty road away from the fields, away from his family, chasing a dream of a life brighter, faster, freer. The city was everything Hiram had imagined. Lanterns lit the streets in a golden glow. Musicians played at every corner, their songs wild and intoxicating. Taverns overflowed with laughter, dancers spun with ribbons in their hair, and the night sky seemed endless. Hiram threw himself into it all. His coins bought feasts, his name was shouted in toasts, his table was never empty. Strangers called him friend, women smiled at him, and he believed, perhaps foolishly, that this was the life he was meant to live. But gold, like river water, runs out faster than one expects. The pouch grew lighter. The feasts ended. One by one, the so-called friends drifted away, their laughter fading into alleys. The taverns no longer opened their doors to him, and the city streets grew colder. Then came the famine. Markets emptied. Bread vanished. The rich locked their gates, and the poor begged on corners. Hunger gnawed at Hiram like a wild animal. His clothes, once fine, hung loose and tattered. His dreams had burned out, leaving only ashes. Desperate, he found work with a farmer outside the city, tending pigs. The animals squealed in mud, their troughs filled with scraps. Hiram's stomach twisted when he saw them eat. Even their food seemed better than the nothing he had. And it was there, standing in muck, that reality crashed down on him. His father's servants back home had more than enough bread. His father's house was not just a memory, it was life, warmth, forgiveness. Tears blurred Hiram's eyes. He whispered into the night air, as though testing the words before they reached his father's ears. "I will go back. I will say, 'Father, I have done wrong against heaven and against you. I am not worthy to be called your son. Let me be as one of your servants.'" The thought filled him with both dread and hope. He had left proud, burning with dreams. He would return broken, carrying nothing but shame. Still, home was better than hunger. The road back was long, stretching across hills Hiram had once walked with fire in his heart. Now his steps dragged, his eyes fixed on the dust beneath his feet. Every bend in the path seemed heavier than the last. What if father turns me away? The thought haunted him. What if Jotham laughs at me, calls me a fool? But even fear could not silence the longing for home. Then, as he crested a hill, Hiram saw the farmhouse in the distance, the fields golden in the sun, the house standing strong. His chest ached. He slowed, almost afraid to take another step. But the decision was not his alone. For his father, who had been watching that road every day, saw him first. The old man ran. His robe flared in the wind, his sandals beat the ground, his arms stretched wide as if to catch the years that had been lost. Hiram stumbled, unprepared, words tumbling out in a rush. "Father, I have done wrong. I am not worthy, let me be." But the rest was swallowed in his father's embrace. The man held him as though he had been found after death itself. "Bring the best robe," the father cried to the servants who rushed out, astonished. "Put a ring on his hand, sandals on his feet. Prepare the feast. We will celebrate tonight." For my son was lost, and now he is found." Hiram's tears fell freely, but this time they were not bitter. They were the kind that fall when shame gives way to love. That night, music filled the house once more, not the hollow music of city taverns, but the deep-rooted joy of family. But not everyone rejoiced. Jotham stood at the edge of the fields, sweat still on his brow from the day's work. From where he stood, he could hear the laughter, smell the roasted meat, see lanterns glowing in celebration. And it burned in him like fire. He left. He wasted everything. He broke father's heart, and now, this? A feast. While I stayed. I worked. I obeyed. I never asked for anything. The anger swelled inside him, sharp as a blade. He felt invisible, like all his years of loyalty had been thrown into the shadows by one reckless return. His father came out, lantern in hand, the light casting long shadows across the fields. "Jotham," he said softly, "come in. Your brother is back." But Jotham's jaw tightened. His hands, rough with calluses, clenched. "All these years I've worked for you. I never disobeyed. And yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when he comes back, after wasting everything, you kill the best calf for him." His words cracked in the night air, a mix of hurt and betrayal. The father placed the lantern down, his voice steady though his eyes shone with sorrow. "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad. For your brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." Jotham's heart trembled. Part of him wanted to storm away, to let his anger carry him far from the music and the feast. Yet another part, the quietest, most hidden part, longed to believe that love could be this wide, this unearned, this unbreakable. He stood there in the field, torn between resentment and grace, pride and forgiveness. The music drifted out toward him, a song of reconciliation. And deep within, a battle raged, a battle as old as brothers, as ancient as jealousy, and as human as love. Inside the house, Hiram sat at the table, the weight of shame lifted, his father's hand on his shoulder, the warmth of home finally wrapped around him again. Outside, Jotham wrestled with his choice. The feast had begun. But whether the family would be truly whole again, that decision rested with him. Sometimes the hardest journey is coming back home and finding that love can meet us even when we're afraid to ask for it.